Hello, Exiles. This is Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and welcome to another Path of Exile video. I'm here with my Frost Blades Trickster. It's day 5. I took yesterday off because, well, I had like voting and some other stuff to do, so by the time I got around to video time, I didn't have a lot of progress. But today I did make a lot of progress. You can probably see some shiny new items over there, and I'm just gonna go ahead and do a lair of the Hydra. I have no idea what kind of Mayhem modifiers are on here, so I guess hopefully not the minus damage ones, but we'll just have to see. But yeah, just hit level 95 and made some good progress in other places too, so should be able to do some interesting things here. I probably should have played a map before I started recording, because the first map, every time I start up the game, is always a little slow to load, but that's okay. Oh, I don't know, do I have, okay, I do have Ancestral Call. I'm still using that, but I'm almost out of the situation where I'll have to use Ancestral Call. I have 2 ways that I was going to get out of it, and I ended up getting mostly, so what do we actually have? Mayhem, and they take less damage, so I guess we'll have to see if I can. I don't have any other defensive mobs. I am just gonna get these scarabs here. I do want that. I'm also looking for a lot of embers. I've been trying to craft with those, although I'll only need to craft my body armor with them now, because I'm very close to getting Tribal Fury. Scarabs again, nice. So we should have a really good chance of dropping scarabs now. See how many we get. Are there extra projectiles, or does that guy just throw a lot? I'm not sure. Map currency, that's also very good. I could go for the percent. I personally like taking all of the ones that just drop a lot of stuff, because they don't make the regular monsters any harder. So it just makes it a lot easier. The only thing it makes harder are the actual Exarch or whatever monsters that spawn from the influence. So it's usually just a little bit simpler that way. It also just generally drops pretty good loot, and I'm not magic finding, that's another big thing there. I don't know why the envoy is here. I already did all the Maven stuff, but maybe there's some reason for that I'm not super aware of. Finally got my multi-strike back up to 20. I did quality the rest of my gems. I haven't been leveling gems, so unless there's some available, which there might not be, I probably won't get 2120s of all of my gems, or any of my gems really. So kind of go, I just wanted to check to see if there was a claw. I'm still looking for a really good fractured claw. I found one earlier with like a 21% attack speed, but that's not really good enough compared to what I have. I do have a new claw as well. It's actually kind of a downgrade from the other one I had, but it had an open prefix, which allows me to get penetration, which makes it an upgrade against anything that actually matters. It's a general DPS loss against, you know, random white mobs that don't have extra resistance, but it's a slight DPS gain against anything that does have extra resistances, which is going to be some of the more annoying arch nemesis modifiers. All right, so pretty simple there. Then I just make my gem swap, and let's see if I can actually freeze this with the less damage taken. I should be able to. We'll see though. Oh, maybe not. So I'm not currently freezing. I might have to go switch my gloves really quick. So as you can see, I'm not freezing the Hydra at the moment. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pop out. And I will lose some fire resist by doing that, but that's okay. I've been saving these. I actually got a corrupted southbound with some extra life on it. So I'm just going to go ahead and toss these on. I think I'll be undercapped for fire resistance, but I don't think there were any mods as extra fire. Yeah, I only have 54 fire res, but this should be enough to freeze, which will give me the full damage. I'm going to have these on full time, and I'll sort my fire resist out. Oops, I probably should have checked before I did that, though. Okay, yep, getting freezes on the Hydra now, so that's good. Just try to avoid. Yeah, I thought I can freeze with those gloves if there isn't a 35% less damage taken modifier on the Hydra, but there just happens to be, so unfortunate. Just kind of sit around. I don't think there are any dangerous damage modifiers, so I can probably just sit here and face tank, honestly. I don't know why I'm moving around. I think it's just out of habit because there are a bunch of dangerous modifiers that can spawn. But yeah, I think I can just sit in Hydra's face and kind of press the button. There you go. Yeah. Okay, so got that taken care of. Obviously, I'm not mapping with those. What I'm planning on doing is I have a Einhar's Memory of the Sacred Grove here. I'm going to run that, get a bunch of harvest juice. From my experience, these usually give anywhere from 12,000 to 18,000 total harvest juice per one of these, and that's without any quantity gear on. So I'm going to be running that, and I'll then use the recraft to switch over one of my lightning resist rolls, probably on the belt, to fire resist, which will recap me barely on fire resist. Unfortunately, I won't be elemental weakness capped when I do that, though, but you know, I'll just not run elemental weakness maps. I also do have a flask with the reduce effective curse on me, so when the flask's up I should be fine, but yeah, it'll be a little sketchy. And then I'll permanently have the freeze duration. But yeah, I'll go over the gear here. So my previous claw that I was using last time, actually, I think was it this one? Nope. Well, I might have already tried to recraft both of them, or I put it somewhere else, I don't remember. But now I'm using this claw. It has a little more cold damage to attacks than the previous one does, but it does actually have, and a little more attack speed, but worse crit chance. It doesn't have the flat fizz, some of which was converted to cold damage, but it does have attacks penetrate elemental resistance, and it has a very high lightning resist roll, which kind of lets me fix some things weirdly enough too, and then a very minimal lightning damage. So it was kind of a slight downgrade overall, but having penetration is just really important against bosses and certain arch nemesis mods. So I just went with that. One of the exciting upgrades is I got a Circle of Fear with the right stuff. It's very low rolled, but I did get it after only my third memory. So I had spec'd into all of this stuff up here, like the neural pathways, vivid memories, and synaptic impulses. And I just ran a bunch of really short mesas. I set mesas up as my favored map for all of them instead of just one. I actually am using all sorts of different favored maps right now because of the way that Mayhem League works. Since it switches over, I'm looking specifically to farm like Harbinger and Breach and sometimes Strongbox. So I want a variety of maps available so that I can basically check them at the beginning of the hour, find something that I want to farm, and then and yeah, just go for that. So I want an excess of a bunch of those good maps. But yeah, I had a bunch of, I switched over for mesas. I found a map that had strong boxes. I farmed it for an hour until I got, you know, some cartographers strong boxes, had an excess of mesas. Just blitzed the boss, basically ran straight to the boss, killed him. I got 3, I think, yeah, I think it was 3 or 4 memories, distant memories. I ran them. I did get another circle as well. I got 2 circles total. A Circle of Fear, which is the one I needed, which luckily happened to be just the one. Obviously, I would have kept doing it until I got the Circle of Fear that I needed. Same strategy. Strong boxes to get mesas. Mesa, boss blitz, rinse and repeat. Also for that strategy, you to get the mesas, you're going to want singular focus, and then you have to spec out of singular focus, otherwise the distance memories won't do it. So when you're farming the strong boxes, you put singular focus on, and then when you start farming the maces themselves, you take it off again. So that's how you do that. But I thought I had another circle. I might have put it somewhere else, or oh, I think I sold it. No, I didn't. I got a circle of regret as well. It's not super great, but you know, reservation efficiency and a lot of lightning resist. I figured somebody might want it, but nobody's messaged me yet. Increased damage while leeching too. Oh, I got a forbidden flame, which I didn't know was possible outside. I thought you needed to do the Uber Exarch, but apparently not. And I also got a really good Dawnbreaker, which is how I got my Yoke of Suffering. This was 2.5 divines. I happened to sell the Dawnbreaker I got for 2.5 divines because it was a 2019 for the damages. So it was a very, very, very good Dawnbreaker. Basically, it was like take 19% of cold as fire, 20% of lightning as fire, and 19% of fizz as fire. So nearly perfect rolled. I also got a mirror shard, which is hilarious. This is a void league, of course. I can't do anything with it. It's actually going for 60 chaos, which is the same price as a silver oil, or that I bought a silver oil for. I bought a golden oil for 3 divines, and then I bought a silver oil for 60 chaos. And now I have to buy an opalescent oil, which last I checked were 30 chaos, or I am running blights when I run into them, so I'll either drop one or I can trade up my other ones for it. I'm not going to run like the big blighted maps because I don't like to. This bladed arachnid nest, but if blights show up on my maps, I'll probably run them until I do have my opalescent oil, and then I will be able to anoint Tribal Fury. As a placeholder, I currently have Divine Fervor, which is fine. It was cheap and I just happened to have the oils for it. It was green, teal, violet, I think, or purple, one of the purple oils. I think it was the indigo one, but so yeah, I have the Circle of Fear now, which increased my DPS a decent amount. I have Yoke of Suffering, which increased my DPS by quite a lot. I think I should be able to... so with Southbound, I think I do like 8 million DPS, and with my other pair of gloves, they just are a little bit safer overall because they have the resistances. With those, which I'm going to switch back to so I don't forget and die to fire damage. Also, I have a flame dash because I was running my unique maps and I had Pillar of Arun, and dash is very bad on that. It doesn't even seem to work on some of the platforms. And I was just too lazy to get rid of it, so I still have it. Excuse me. So yeah, I got myself a Yoke of Suffering. So with these on, I'm at like 6.5, 6.8, somewhere like that. And with my Southbound, I'm at like 8 million DPS. And that is with elemental damage to attacks. With the Ancestral Call, obviously, I'm lower. I'm pretty close to the point where if they don't roll the less damage, I should be able to start doing Elder with just a small amount of DPS. Like I'll probably get a ring with more DPS, something similar to this, but without all the wasted rolls. In fact, I currently have another higher item level opal ring that I'm going to craft to get that. And as you can see, I got a Hunter Shield. It's on a pretty bad base. Actually, it's not that bad. It's alright. I think this is like the 3rd best base. Got some Cop Sirens going out outside. I'm going to go ahead and craft this too with the harvests I get from the Einhar memory. And if that fails, I'll just spec into all of the essence stuff, so crystal resonance, amplified energies, you know, just all of the essence stuff. Yeah, oh, crystal lattice, this one's very important, or lattice, whichever. So I'll just get all of them, and then I'll do tier 1 maps and basically get a bunch of essences that way, and put like the essence craft and everything on there. And so yeah, I have a lot of different things to craft. Oh, big thing I wanted to talk about is Leper's Alms. Another cop car. Something must be going on. So this is a shield that I don't think I actually have mentioned for being good in this build, but it actually is quite good. First of all, duration of ailments. Um, freeze is an ailment, so is shock and chill, but you never really need to worry about the duration for those. But yeah, it gives you more freeze duration. And it also has pretty high life, very high evasion and energy shield. And the energy shield is sort of relevant, even though we don't have energy shield leech. We do get a percentage of our energy shield back per kill, so that basically gives us a little cushion. So right now we have 459 on top of our just short of 3400 life pool. So that's kind of cool. And another thing to talk about with this is shared suffering. So with the with our ascendancy one step ahead, we become basically functionally immune to chill and freeze, but the other ailments we're not. I don't usually worry about ignite. Like, most ignites are not gonna kill me or even hurt me that badly, like 99.99% of the time. So I'm not really worried about ignites, but I am worried about shock. Shock can be a big problem, and that's why I attempt on most of my versions of the build to either get shock avoid or reduce effective shock on a flask, but that's not always going to be up. What shared suffering does is, let's see if it says, okay, all damage from hits will cause elemental ailments you're suffering. Elemental ailments you inflict are removed from you. So basically, if you get shocked, if you then inflict a shock, which we always do because of Yoke of Suffering, the shock will be removed from you. And yeah, so basically, as long as you're not like shotgunned by something that shocks you within like points, whatever, like 0.15 or seconds or whatever my attack speed is with all of my frenzies up, as long as you don't get shotgunned that way, you're just gonna remove the shock and you're gonna be in the clear in your next auto attack, or in your next attack in general, I guess. So shared suffering is very interesting in that way, and it also has a nice niche application that you might not necessarily think about, which is, if you're frozen, it then makes all of your damage able to freeze, which includes the fire damage from Heatshiver as well. The interesting thing about that is there's actually a Eldritch Shrine that makes it so that you reflect all ailments that you inflict back onto yourself. So you can literally use that as an advantage with Leper's Alms to basically double or over double your freeze duration. So that's another really interesting niche case. It's not going to come up most of the time. Also, if you're just frozen naturally, I mean, you're not going to act as if you're frozen. You're not going to stop moving because, once again, one step ahead prevents that. But you'll still have the status affliction frozen, even though it isn't actually affecting you. And you can, once again, use shared suffering to basically get a double duration freeze. So that's a really cool interaction there. Still have the exact same Heatshiver. I recrafted the body armor. I'm currently working on the Searing Exarch implicit. Obviously, I don't have a golem, so this one's useless. And I would like a higher tier of the melee, have a chance to fortify. But I attack most of the, when I have all of my frenzies up, I attack fast enough where the 7% has fortify up a majority of the time, a vast majority. So I'm fine with that for now, but just for like safety and for bosses and stuff later on, I'd like, where I have to move around and fortify might drop off, I would like to have this at a higher percent. I think this belt is the same, or maybe not. I think I had a different belt before. So, oh yeah, I had to get a new belt with higher strength because I needed to get my steel skin to level 20. And yeah, that's pretty much it, actually. But now, actually, I'm just barely, so I don't think I'll have enough to get it up to to level 21, even when I 20% it. But yeah, I have just enough strength. I got rid of the. I still have Atziri's Step as well, and the same ring. So yeah, I changed up about half of my gear in various ways, and I'm going to be making a lot of changes again to my gear. So, but this has served me pretty well to get from level like 92 to 95. for the most part. Some of these are more recent acquisitions, like the Circle of Fear and these gloves, but I've been using Leper's Alms for a while, and this belt and claw for quite a while now. Oh, and of course, Yoke of Suffering I got just last night, like at the end of my play session last night. So, since I'm level 95, I got rid of my no jewels restriction, which allowed me to use this intuitive leap that I found. That's really cool because it saves me a bunch of points. So instead of having to go down through here, which normally if you don't have intuitive leap, that actually saves you points. Because it's more efficient technically, because you want to get these anyway, especially resourcefulness to have capped spell suppression. But now it's actually more efficient to go this way because it technically gives you more stats and you're not really saving the points anymore. So now I can get this, including one with evil as well, and just depth perception. So I believe I'm still accuracy capped. Oh, I'm not because my precision is down. But yeah, with my precision up, I am accuracy capped, so I don't need these two smaller nodes. That saves me 2 points again. So I'm saving a bunch of points, getting 23 chaos resist for 1 point, which I think is definitely worth it, which puts our chaos resist at 12 against hits and 52 against damage over time. Currently, I'd like to pump that up a little bit. There was a point where I had like close to max against hits and like 93 against damage over time, which obviously doesn't count, but after I got the Circle of Fear, I had to drop a little bit of chaos resistance, and I also was originally pathing up through evil, so I had these 2 points, but I don't have that anymore. Other changes, yeah, I'm using jewels now, so I still have to use Conqueror's Efficiency. I won't have to for long, and I'll be able to change this for an actual damage jewel once I get my shield crafted. I have this kind of mediocre just attack damage holding a shield, crit multi, all elemental resistances. I'll probably just slam it too. So I have 2 prefixes. I can get a suffix. I think, yeah, there's a couple of crit multi suffixes I could potentially roll, which would be nice. But other than that, I haven't really made any changes. I did end up, I guess, I got the +3 prevent spell suppress, bringing us up to 56. So we have 56% less damage taken from spells, and then if it's a hit, fortify for another 20%, and then half of the time another 40%. So yeah, we really just take no damage from spells basically at all. I currently have to use the 15% all elemental resistance, elemental mastery. Hopefully I can get some resistances on my body armor and shield and ring when I recraft those. That'll help me out with that. So I have 3 pieces of gear that I can kind of possibly slip things up, and then I can use this as a problem solver. Actually, yeah, I have lightning and chaos isn't really helpful here either. I'm gonna have to switch that to something else, but regardless, I am struggling with mana. I only have 1 minus mana cost ring currently, and I have 30 mana, and my Assassin's Mark costs 28. So like, I'm not applying Assassin's Mark on the first hit. It's in the second hit when the initial leech goes, because I spend 20 mana to attack, then I hit the thing, then the leech starts, and I'm still multi-striking, and then Assassin's Mark will be applied on the second hit. I would ideally like it to be applied on the first hit, because you know, it can just speed up clear a little bit and get that burst damage on quicker. But speaking of, by the way, multi-strike, may as well try to get that 21, see what happens. Hey, got 23% quality, which isn't super helpful. Gives 1% increased melee physical, which is basically no DPS on our build, maybe like 0.01% or something. But yeah, currently qualitying Trinity, so I have Frost Blades, Trinity, Ice Bite, Nightblade, Ancestral Call, or Elemental Damage with attacks. I tried to get this to 21 and it de-leveled to 19, and multi-strike. So I pretty much have everything 2020. I'm going to get rid of this Ancestral Call entirely, and then I will have this free red socket to put in a Ancestral War Chief, which will give us a lot more single target damage. I think it's like 23% for a regular Ancestral War Chief and like 38% for Vol. I'm just pulling those out, but it's something similar to that. Should give us like 1.5 million single target DPS or something like that. So that'll be good. That'll put us close to 10 million against single target once we get the Anoint and back to the Southbound gloves. I haven't changed the flasks at all. Oh yeah, I should go over the Atlas passive tree. Currently, I was just farming. I had Conquered Conquerors up. Still running Strongbox, but I got rid of the currency item ones. The only important one really is the maps, and I'm probably at some point going to get rid of all of these entirely. I am switching over to Abyss. I want to see how much experience I can get if like an Abyssal Depths that's level 87 drops has Harbingers in it. I assume it's a lot because I've been doing, level 82, 83 safe houses for a while now that have the mechanics in it. And if they end up having Harbingers, I get a ton of experience. So I figure I could probably get even more because of the exponential experience penalty. And the way that works, even with the 100% increased experience in the safe houses. Still running Harbinger. I'm now running Legion. I'm going to start farming for my historic jewel. Currently, I do not have any emblems. I thought I dropped one at one point, maybe not. Oh, that was a breach one. I've done a bunch of the I've done like 3 of the pure Zophs, and I've done like 1 of the pure Eshes, I think. So I've done a decent amount of these. These aren't coming as quickly as I thought they would. And if I do not get the blessings, then I basically have to start over at square one. I thought this would be a bigger turnover. I mean, breaches are still a lot of experience in the maps themselves. But the whole strategy of just like turbo shooting up, like the next Zoff one I get though, I'll be able to put right up to enriched, which is kind of cool. And if it happens to drop higher, then I could, get right to the max right away. But they are good experience. They can also have like Harbingers in them, which what you do is you just run straight through and clear. And then after I kill the boss, I just go back and kill the Harbingers. They're in a zone that has, 100% increased experience gained, or in the case of Chayula, 200%. And even the lowest Chayula Breachstone is 200% increased experience monster level 80, which is kind of cool. So yeah, got that going as well. Have some invitations that I'm probably not going to use for a while. I might get my other watchstones. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure what I have right now, once I get my gear upgraded, is enough to start chasing level 100 basically. So that's the goal here. I'm not like trying to complete all the content. I'll probably do Elder a little bit. So I'll probably get like Remnants of the Past. I can spec out of these now. Once I get a good enough craft on my body armor, I can spec out of here as well. And then I can take those points and just shove them up to get Remnants of the Past, and also Inevitable Ambush and that kind of thing. Obviously not Cosmic Wounds. I don't want to be fighting. I don't think regular Elder has an Uber form anyway. Yeah, I don't think so. So yeah, I'll farm Elder a little bit to see if I can get a good Watcher's Eye just in case. But any Hatred or Precision Watcher's Eye is basically going to be decent. I don't think only one of the Grace ones is really good, and it's good defensively, but not that great offensively. So yeah, I'll just kind of search for that. Those are pretty much my plans. I'll have an update tomorrow if I make enough progress. If I don't feel like I really have that much to show, then it'll probably be 2 days from now. So yeah, look forward to that. Mayhem event, there's just there's not super long left in it, right? It's probably like half over. Is this? Yeah, this is day 5. So yeah, four more days. or probably like 4 days and, you know, so many hours, I guess, at this point. Like probably 4 days and 20 hours or so. I don't actually know when the actual time the event will end, but yeah. And that'll probably be my last update. So wherever I'm at, I'm at. Hopefully I can get to 100 before the event ends. I was, last time I checked, like the 5th place Trickster in the league. I was at one point the 3rd place Trickster in the league, but yeah, yesterday just not being able to play that much kind of slowed me down a little bit. Hopefully I'll kick that back up here soon, especially once I get my gear sorted. So this has been Ryan from Behind Eyes Gaming, and I will see you next time. Bye.